Hey guys, what's going on? Nivens here. Time for your weekly rock wind-up. Well, this article came out last week, but with the short week, I figured I'd bring it forth this week. Talking about Bon Scott, the second frontman for AC/DC, of course, died back in the 80s by death by misadventure. Will be the feature of a new documentary. It's going to focus on his life from 1970 to 1974. Of course, the third and final frontman for AC/DC being Brian Johnson. Pretty good little legacy that AC/DC's got with those two guys at the helm. But if you're a fan of documentaries, like as you know I am, be on the lookout for this one. And another story from last week to tie in with this week. It seems that former Guns N' Roses and Velvet Revolver Slash, Axeman Slash, of course, are going to be getting a divorce from his wife, Perla Hudson. They've been together for 13 years. Bum deal. I know that there were some problems in the past, but they worked it out, but it looks like now not going to be the case. And one of Slash's cohorts, Duff, announcing this week that he's going to kick out a new book later on this year called How to Be a Man. Now, I talked about Velvet Revolver. It seems that Scott Weiland is staying busy as well. Of course, you remember he got fired from VR back in 2008 or 9, if I'm not mistaken. He's got a new album coming out with his new band, The Wildabouts, called Blaster. And he had just mentioned today or yesterday that he wouldn't be opposed to doing a reunion show with Velvet Revolver if him and Slash, of course, have worked things out. And he said that sure, there's been some talk about it. Slash been busy with his solo thing, but he is still open to it since obviously they haven't replaced him as the front man, and they've since pretty much just been on hiatus. Did you get all of that? And the final story from last week to tie in with this week, Randy Blythe, Lamb of God frontman, saying that they've got some shows already booked for 2015 and presumably will start working on a new album this year. Now, Lamb of God being sued again, this one out of Connecticut from 2012, where a fan supposedly got stampeded on and got a back injury or something like that. I don't think this is coming against Lamb of God. I think they're taking it up against Live Nation, but the dude's looking for something like $75,000 out of it. And we'll switch gears to some local action. Keith's Downtown Music in Lawrence officially closed. That's a bum deal. I never like seeing a record store shut its door, especially something that's as close as Lawrence, Kansas. And the boys from Redline Chemistry signing with Pavement Entertainment this week on that label. You've also got Soil, Smile Empty Soul, Tantric, just to name a few. So hopefully after some quiet time from them, maybe we'll see something good come of it. From what I am hearing, they're gonna do a remastering and reissuing of their debut album, Chemical High and Hand Grenade. So as soon as I get some more details about that from the fellas, nudge nudge, wink wink, call me on the break, I'll make sure to fill you in on it. And to close out your weekly rock wind-up, new music announcements. Of course, I mentioned about Scott Weiland and the Wildabouts. I mentioned about Lamb of God working on some new stuff. I mentioned about, of course, Duff kicking out a new book later on this year, How to Be a Man. It seems that Rob Zombie going to kick out some stuff. This is going to be Spook Show International Live, 19 tracks. It's going to have everything from Teenage Nosferatu Pussy to, of course, all of your favorites like Living Dead Girl, Dragula, Never Gonna Stop, etc. Serge Tankian saying that there is talk about new System of a Down. Of course, they're going to be playing a show to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the Armenian genocide. Every member of System, of course, is a direct descendant from that atrocity that happened 100 years ago. And big news coming from Nuclear Blast. Everybody kicking out new albums from Testament to Slayer, of course, as you know, Fear Factory, Meshuggah, the list goes on and on and on. So this will be pretty interesting. Also, too, All Shall Perish, which is peculiar given the fact that Eddie Hermida left the band. Eddie Hermida, excuse me, left in 2013 to go front Suicide Silence. So definitely going to see some new heavy metal action kicked out this year, which is pretty exciting. I'm Nevins. Thank you very much for tuning into your weekly rock wind-up. Have a great weekend. Happy New Year. Peace.
Watch out. Watch out. He's got the papers.